All right, greeting everybody. No matter where you're watching from, this is Cross-Cultural Experience, where I really invite a guest, and the guest who must have traveled from his or her culture of origin, gone somewhere else, experienced something, and then wishes to share. But recently we added another dimension to it, where even if you have not traveled outside, your cultural environment, there must be something about your culture that you want to share with people. And one of the things we introduced is people talking about how names are given within their own culture. It's always very, very amazing. I've talked to somebody in Kuwait, how they give names, in Ghana, recently in Nigeria, as well as in Kenya. Amazing. So today I have somebody who had featured on this program. JIWON, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Dr. Uche?
I am doing great. Welcome to the program. Before we start, let me tell whoever that is watching, and you want to be part of this, program or this forum, get in touch. The address is crossculturalexperiences@gmail.com. Crossculturalexperiences@gmail.com. This is a very free forum. Even if you're watching, you're not part of it, and you want to share with friends, go ahead and do that. You're a teacher, handling something that has to do with culture, intercultural experience, go ahead and share. All right, let's get back to Jiwon, who is from South Korea. And I'm really, really interested in understanding the names. But introduce yourself briefly before we start.
You mean about my name?
Yeah, no, anything, however you want to introduce yourself. What do you
My
do?
my name is JIWON Kim, and given the topic of today,
Yeah.
maybe I can introduce my name with the meaning of the name.
Go ahead. That's fantastic. Go ahead. What's the meaning of the name?
JIWON is my first name, and Kim is my family name. JIWON, which is a syllabus with G and won. G
Uh,
means wisdom, and won
Wisdom.
wisdom. Yes.
Okay. I am blessed to be talking to a wise lady.
Ah, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. And
Yeah.
one means the best. So to combine that means the best wisdom. That's how I'm given my name from my parents. And the last name Kim is the most popular last name in South Korea. And I think it's over 20% among the all last name in South Korea.
All right. That's very, very interesting. First, I'm talking to a lady who is full of wisdom.
Yes.
The same lady, the name also means the best.
Yes.
It's a wonderful combination. Wisdom and the best. What else do you want to ask for? Anyway, let's
Right?
let's start with the last statement you made. You know, the Kim, which is your
Mhm.
last name, which
Mhm.
is like 20% of the population. They're called Kim. I also found out that there is Lee and then there is
Mhm.
Park. The
Mhm.
three of them constituting about 40% of the last names in one country. How come? This is the only country I know. Well, I don't know it everywhere, but I know that, I mean, it's limited. Three names, it's like if I were to stand in the stadium and just say Kim, so many people will stand up because it's their last name. But go ahead and explain to me, why is that so?
Well, there are many reasons about the how there are so many Kims
Yeah.
in Korea. Maybe I can start with the origin of Kim.
Okay, go ahead.
Origin of the Kim last name is as follow that there was a king named Kim Alji. So
Uh,
usually in South Korea and some among the other Asian country, East Asia country, they put their first name first. Last name first and the first name at last. So
last,
family name comes first. So in this case, his name Kim Alji could be RG Kim. So there was the myth that he was born from eggs, and there are many myths from ancient time that the person from the egg or from the gold box. So
Egg?
yes, the egg.
Okay.
So those kind of the legend alongside of many last name Kim or Park and Lee. And those names are most of the dynasty name as well. So these name was reveal the social status of the person.
Okay.
When we have the colonial time alongside with the country Japan,
Mm-hmm.
there was the time that we called the 창씨 개명, means we had to change the name. The Korean people had to change name with a different reason under the colonial era.
Okay.
And at that time, people could or should choose the name after sometime it could be Japanese name or the other way. So at that time, there were many people had a transition to change their name with their last name as well.
Ooh, okay. So that's the origin. So this must have been dominant dynasties, the three of them or the four of them. In
Yes.
okay. All right. Okay. Because in my country, Nigeria, and other places I know of, we have too many, too many, last names. We don't have like three, four last names, dominating the last name category in the state. But that is, yeah. Okay, let's go back to why were you named, giving those wonderful names? One of them is wisdom, one of them is the best.
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm
Yeah,
glad you asked.
yeah,
With my recollection, because
yes.
I can be always wrong, I accept that. When parents or mostly grandparents give the name to their family, to
Oh,
children, they think about what would be the name, the meaning of the name for.
mhm.
Because there is belief that people believe the person would go follow after the meaning of their name.
Oh,
So for instance, when my father named me as a best wisdom, means that he really want me to be a very wise person. So he was very
okay,
focused to the wisdom.
okay.
Whereas when he named my sister's name, there was wisdom and the beauty, and she's very pretty too. So we kind of go after the belief of okay, the meaning really actually affect a person's life. I don't know. There is a scientific proof about that. So when my father named her, that he was thinking about okay, now I want wisdom and beauty for my daughter.
Okay.
Just like every parents, other parents.
So it's will it be correct to say that it's like a prayer? You pray for your child to end up being whatever you've named the child. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's a very beautiful, actually very beautiful way to put it and to
Ah,
understand that. Yes, that's their prayer and their wish and their hope for their children, the best of the best.
all right. Who names? Is it the father or the grandfather? Who names? Who is in charge of naming, giving those names?
Yes, actually there is a way who is mainly give the name,
Yeah.
mainly male leadership figure give the name, for instance, father or
Yeah.
grandfather.
Okay. And okay, father or grandfather. How about moms and grandmothers? Do they have a role in the names?
Um, well, especially this generation,
Yes.
I understand mother and father, like both of the gender, participate to uh designated which name they would like they have
Okay.
for their children. But when I was a child, in that generation was a male figure focus dominate to give the name.
Oh, okay. It was a male dominant kind of culture that was, but things have changed, the way you have put it. Okay. Is there how do they determine names, for, okay, before I get to that, some of the people I've interviewed, also say that in their own part of the world, like the Yorubas in Nigeria, they also give, or the Luos in Kenya. Luos in Kenya give names according to the time of the day the person was born. So if
Mm,
you are born in the afternoon, your name will reflect afternoon.
mhm,
Now, the Yoruba person I talked to said in their own case, it could be to mark an event.
mm,
Right. Do you have that kind of thing
mm.
in the Korean culture? Do you give names to mark an event, for instance?
They're more like event that kind of actually remind me of there is actually a job to make the name for the person.
Okay.
So it's called the 장명소, and these people and the place is specifically for making name. Like it's not only person's name, it can be business.
Okay.
Because the name means a lot in Korea, just like among the other culture.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So they are paid actually a pretty good amount of money to give the name. So for instance, if I want just hypothetical scenario, if I want the best name to my child and I don't know how to name her or him,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm not sure about this generation, but I could go to this place called the 장명소 and ask them, um, I want my son or daughter have a name, but my purpose of their name is this. And plus, we called also 사주, which is when they were born, year,
Okay.
month, and day, and time. That's why it's four 사주. So we
Oh,
give them these four elements of when they were born, which make the almost the best balance with the name.
oh, okay. When they were born. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So would it, I mean, if somebody was born when there was a war, for instance, will the name reflect war?
Huh.
Or will it reflect peace?
Probably more peace because the word typically it reflects a little bit negative point
Okay.
of view. So, but there is actually probably my grandmother's generation. This is like 1930 or 40.
Okay.
They were named after especially daughters with many cha because
Okay.
ja means at the name of that name of that, and or if they have so many daughters and I wish this is my last daughter and I want son,
Yeah.
then they put the a word of the end in her
Okay.
name, so means that this is gonna be the end of my daughter, last daughter.
Okay. Now I want a son.
Yes, yeah, now I want son. So means like for instance a 말자, 말자 or 끝자. So it means this is the last daughter of my
Yeah.
family, so now I want son. So
That,
yes, that there were many different
okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's because there are also societies. I mean, it's something very similar to what you said. A society I know, like the Igbo society in Nigeria, in some places, if somebody is called Onwubiko, it's like saying death, please,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that the previous children had died. You get yeah, somebody is born, the person dies, repeatedly. And
Mm-hmm.
then the prayer is, may this be the last one to die.
Mm-hmm.
So the new child will be named dead. Please don't take this one. That's what it means. Something very close.
That's very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you have a ceremony for naming kids or just you just give the name?
Well, I cannot speak for a whole nation,
Yes.
but there is it's more like we call the 100 days event. Of
Oh,
course,
okay.
they give the name before 100 days, but long time ago, like decades, not decades, century and centuries ago,
Yeah.
and the baby survived after 100 days, it means that this baby is going to really survive, which is going to be
Oh,
part of the
okay.
family, right?
Okay.
So they put the name on the cake. So we really celebrate now this baby and more acknowledge that now the baby is a real part of my family because we know we are not going to lose them, right?
Okay. That's interesting.
We still have that event. 100 days celebration is a very big part of a baby's probably first event, even before their first year of birthday.
Yeah. Okay, that's very interesting because the person I spoke with, Yoruba in Nigeria, as well as the Igbos, I think in Nigeria, I believe in Nigeria, I think I know in Nigeria,
Mhm.
they named the child after 8 days, the eighth day. I think the Jewish people do the same. But in your case, it's 100 days, meaning, okay, this one is here. I mean, if you're not died before 100, I mean, you should be around, and then you begin to celebrate it. But you talked about the cake. What's this? Does it have a significance or just people are having cake?
So again, these 100 days events used to
Yes.
be very meaningful centuries ago, but
Yeah.
now they still celebrate it because it became a part of the culture
Culture. Okay.
because of the develop of the old medical system and technology nowadays, right?
Okay.
And about the cake, um, in South Korea, when people have a celebration type of event, the
Yes.
cake is the kind of become the central piece for the
Ah,
celebration. So they could make there is a duck cake also, which means a rice cake. It
okay.
reflect a more traditional way, but just a sweet cream cake with a pretty color, or even they put the picture on the image on the cake with so many candles. That
Okay.
that became a centerpiece of the event, like
You
kind of a wedding here.
Okay, I'm beginning to see similarities, when I talk to people. Again, I go back to the last ones I talked about. They also, you don't just sit around and give the name. There are some things they bring. Some people bring ordinary water because water is symbolizing life.
Mhm.
So they use water for the ceremony. Others bring different types of things, just like you bring cake, to celebrate and then give the names. This guy was telling me he reminded me about, most Western societies or many Western societies where the name is given at the hospital and then you go home. That's the name.
Mm.
But in some societies, yes, we know the name, but we don't really celebrate it until 100 days or 8 days or whatever number of days. Then everybody, you know. Okay, so let me ask you something else. Do you have names for twins?
Twins.
Yeah, people who are born twins, or they're just, is there any traditional names, or are there traditional names they give them? Or just you give the name?
It depends on the which generation. I notice this generation has a different nuance of the name.
Okay,
Like for instance, in the document that we share, they are like
yes,
Hojun, Doyun, Jian, Jia. Those
yes.
kind of names were not many common thing in my generation or
Okay.
my parents' generation. So back to the twins, it depends on the which generation they were born.
Oh,
But
okay.
one of my friends who are twins, just like the siblings, like what I noticed was here when they're siblings, that they name, for instance, Daniel and
Yeah.
Mark, right?
Okay. Okay.
But in South Korea, when they are siblings, that they share at least the one syllable.
Okay.
So back to the twin, they must have share the very similar pronunciations of name.
Of
So
the name.
yes, old names. So for instance, my friend, her name is Jiyoung, and her sister, twin sister's name is Jihyun,
Oh,
Jiyoung and Jihyun. They sound
okay, say
similar.
it again. Say it again. It sounds musical. Say it again. Chiang and
Jiyoung and Jihyun.
okay.
So when I was younger,
Yeah.
in elementary school, when I was like Jian, then Jiyoung just like, did you call me? No, I said Jihyun. And when I
Yeah.
said Jiyoung, then Jihyun turned to her head like, did you call me? No, I mean your sister. So
Oh, I called your sister Chiang.
yes,
That's it. I mean, that's interesting. So that's a cultural way of making a distinction between I mean, they don't have the same name, but sounding the same. Tell me something again. The names, are there names for male children and then names for female children? Or they can give any name either way.
if your question is if the name nuance shows the gender,
Yeah.
okay, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Not all the time. There is always exceptional, but mainly when you hear the name, you can guess the gender. My name is a kind of interesting case because when I was young, my
Yeah.
name was more tend to be male's name.
Okay.
One of the very famous basketball player that we all know in South Korea, his name was JIWON as my name.
Okay.
And my name was not really common name at that time, but now we have more Jiwon in actress or different people. Um, Female people have the same name as my name, so
Okay.
it's more acknowledged become it could be female name. So there is a little bit gender neutral name, but
Okay.
mainly, mostly, in my opinion, parents try to reveal, maybe subconsciously choose a name that gender is included in their name.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that it's remarkable about names, how Koreans, give names? Is there any other thing that is remarkable? I like the one of the twins. So just one syllable to change it.
Yes.
And then okay, not you, it's your sister I'm calling. Is there anything else about uh, giving those names?
Mm, well, one thing remind me of your question remind me of is in Korea context, the primary process and the use in Hangul, which is Korean characters.
Okay.
Yet they are often designed to also be representable in Chinese character, which is Hanja.
Oh,
So I have a name in Hangul, Korean letter, but I also have a name, same pronunciation, but in Chinese character as well.
why?
That's a very good question. That is gonna go to the historic scholars question.
Oh, okay.
So, although there is a growing trend toward the purely Hangul names based name, on purely Hangul based name, it remains common for names to create in form that can be expressed in Hangul and Hanja.
Okay.
So it could be, I don't really recall the culture has that have a name they can express in English and Spanish both way. I don't know. Maybe Richard can be Ricardo.
Oh,
Kind of, maybe.
okay. Okay. All right. So finally, I know I wish we had all the time, but finally, you know, um, so what I'm getting is while the last names are limited,
Mhm.
the last names are limited, the first names are unlimited. You can give as many names as there, but the last, you know. So if I were to, if my name was Kim and we met in your last name is Kim, my last name is Kim, and we meet in France.
Mhm.
Is there a way for us to begin to connect the same ancestry, or no? It's just the name.
Wow, that's very. a
Yeah.
deep level of the question. I'm glad you asked it though.
Yeah.
When we share the same last name, we often ask to each other, "What's your 본가?"
Punga.
Yes, 본가, or that it's like a root of, even though you have a same last name,
Yes.
but what would be your really root of your last name? So there is
Oh,
경주
okay.
Kim, 경주. It's included the which region.
Yeah.
So for instance, there is actually a good example about that. Actually it's a 본관, not 본가.
Yeah.
So Jeju is the island, very southern, beautiful island of South Korea. It's kind of like Hawaii. There is
Okay.
only one 본관, which is a Jeju-고시. So there is only one purely from, as far as I understand, most popular Jeju's last
Yes.
name is Ko. But when we see some different Kim, there is Gyeongju Kim, Changmyeong Kim, Kimhae Kim. So there are different Kims in the different region. So
Okay.
that's how we confirm if we really share the ancestors, or
Yes.
maybe we have some distance between us.
Ah, okay, that's exciting. So, in spite of the fact that it is Kim, I can then ask you to is it called Punga or whatever? I ask you that, and then I can begin to connect that probably we are from the same region, or
Yes,
we are not from the same region. Then
yes. The
if we are
Bongwan
from
is.
if we are from the same region, we say, okay, who are your parents and all that. Okay, so there's a connection. It-
Yes, there is a big traditional book called the Jokbo.
all right.
Means there is all the names of the family. And for instance, like if I hear, I know if we share the 본관 and
Yes.
the same as a real deep-rooted 본관, we share that. And if I hear those names, I know, I mean, at least I can guess if this person could be my grandmother, regardless
Oh,
of the age, or
okay.
my aunt. So it's based on the names.
Wow. I just want to thank you for the time. And I know that in spite of the fact that people come from different places, there are some connections. Like when I spoke, with the person from Kuwait,
Mhm.
he also told me exactly the same thing. If we meet in wherever, I can begin to ask you, maybe there's a connection somewhere.
Mhm.
It is not, so names are not just given because we want to give names, they have meaning. You know, in
Mhm.
Korea, as well as some of these areas I've talked. All right, I want to thank you again for your time, and I would like anybody who wants to be part of this, very exciting and enlightening, forum, get in touch. It is called cross-cultural, experiences at gmail.com. Cross-cultural experiences at gmail.com. All right. The lady who is called Wisdom and the lady for whom everything should be nice. I thank you one more time.
Thank you, Dr. Uche. It was my honor. Thank you so much for invitation.
Okay, you stay well.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.